Yes, thank you, Emma. A real pleasure to be back on the banks of the Humber for this derby occasion. A season shrouded in uncertainty of different types for both, and so far outcomes of a different nature on the pitch as well. But plenty of intrigue heading into an all-Yorkshire affair. We're ready to bring you the team news, and Tim Walter gives two of his most recent Hull recruits their debuts in the wide areas of the attack. Mohamed Baloumi, who likes to cut inside onto a lethal left foot, and Abu Kamara, whose desire to leave Norwich was sated by an intriguing move here. Finley Burns, on loan from Manchester City, gains a first championship start at the base of midfield, while continuity is the name of the game in the goalkeeping department. Despite an influx of new talent, Ivo Pandur dons the gloves again. Carl Rushworth, borrowed from Brighton, is not involved in the squad at all. Continuity too in Sheffield United's selection. It is the same team that started and won against Watford 12 days ago. Anil Ahmed Hodzic did have a slight hamstring concern that sparked an extraordinary row with the Bosnian FA, leading to his international retirement, but he is okay. Kiefer Moore was in a car bound for Heathrow to join Hull's pre-season preparations a few short weeks ago when Sheffield United swooped to sign him, so his presence certainly adds some extra intrigue. Hull also just missed out on Jez Raksaki, who appreciated Chris Wilder's personal touch and chose to move to Bramall Lane. Well, intriguing new face in the Hull City lineup. Mohamed Baloumi, son of one of Africa's greatest ever footballers, and he's certainly got something that could help light up this place.
Yeah, I mean, look, they've lost an awful lot of goals, Hull City, from last season, and they haven't scored that many so far so they're looking for a hero, and they're looking for a bit of an unknown quantity. But 7 goals and 4 assists last season in the Portuguese top flight, not to be sniffed at for a wide player. Watch out for him.
In the Sheffield United ranks tonight, someone who's always been at home in the Championship, but now very much at home at Sheffield United.
Yeah, I would say the biggest remit for Sheffield United is to keep this man fit. If you keep this man fit, you know he's going to deliver. He's a handful for opponents. He's going to score goals. He's going to get assists. And we've already seen him linking up with Kiefer Moore and Gus Harmer, his former teammate. Real handful at this level.
Hoping to make his mark once again tonight. Tim Walter, a coach that generally brings entertainment. It's not always followed by the success that's desired by the club he represents. But whatever unfolds, it will certainly be a wild ride here in East Yorkshire. The team from South Yorkshire with one final display of togetherness before the off in their all-cream strip tonight, with a little adornment on the head of Kiefer Moore, who's sustained a cut, but that won't stop him from being a formidable aerial presence this evening. Just Bedia, the leading man for Hull City, at the point of their attack. Well, it's a rivalry that's included an FA Cup semi-final in its time, a knife-edge promotion battle from the third tier 40 years ago, which really did stoke the fire between these two. It's a rivalry that possibly heads more in one direction than the other, from east to west, if you like, but there is definitely plenty of edge about this one.
Yeah, look, I think there's always an edge with Chris Wilder's teams. He instills that fire in their belly. They've already been in trouble a couple of times this season with the authorities, so nothing quite like a derby to bring more of that out.
And O'Hare making an instant impression, but that will escape the clutches of Harmer. And the first bit of work for Pandur is to sweep up.
I think he's going to be a little bit frustrated there, Callum O'Hare. It's an overhit pass when, had it not been overhit, Gus Harmer was clean through almost.
Boots of Cooper into the nighter towards Kiefer Moore, tidied up there by Giles. Well, there will be A lot of intrigue in these situations today from Hull. They've got a very intriguing way of playing out, very different way of playing out, which we wouldn't necessarily have seen in that circumstance. Giles cross. And coming in with interest was Abdelkader Amour, keeping Vinny Souza busy.
Do you know what? I've arrived here this evening excited about what might happen in this game. Entertainment, attacking football. It's got off to a decent start already.
More central role for Amour tonight. Looking to get Baloumi involved straight away. Actually, in that moment, popping up on the left side. And two left-footed wide players. But Baloumi very rarely plays anywhere else but down the right.
See the style that Hull City want to adopt this season. Very short passes. What they want is for it to be impactful, and so far they've struggled really with that side of the game, the creativity. They've been reasonably solid defensively, but it's just those goals, isn't it, and that creative spark Tim Walter will be looking for.
Lots of rotation in this area when they're playing out. We've seen McLaughlin on the ball there, drift into midfield and then switch over with Ryan Giles, the left-back, in the space of 10 seconds there. Players have got a lot to learn, and learn quickly.
Well, it's such a gamble, isn't it? And if you're Sheffield United and Chris Wilder, you will have been working on this type of scenario. How you can hurt Hull City when you win the ball back.
Saki involved, and now Harry Souttar. Certainly increased his air miles with Australia during the break. It was anything but for him. Boyster on the ground upon which he made his league debut for Sheffield United, and he's involved here, cutting it into a dangerous area. Malem there to mop up for Hull.
There's Harrison Burrows anticipating. He knows that Hull, they're not going to go long, which means as a defender he can be really aggressive and step onto the attackers.
Baloumi back there in his usual station. And McLaughlin stepping out again. It's all very sort of knife-edge stuff, I would describe it as.
Well, we've already had, what are we, 4 minutes in? We've had about 3 or 4 oohs from the home supporters. Just nearly moments, and not in a good way.
I know the owner wanted a more entertaining style of play. It does take it to a bit of a fright night rather than, on occasions, rather than one to enjoy. You'll see the rotation there with McLaughlin and Giles on that occasion. This is Gilchrist. O'Hare. And doing his defensive bit. He's, in a sense, getting up to speed himself, having suffered a broken leg during the course of last season with Darmstadt in Germany. Just popped off Giles, which is unlike him, and Raksaki can try and make some headway here for Sheffield United. He's got O'Hare outside him, but he decides he doesn't need him. And others are suggesting you might have needed us there.
Good skill, good strength from Raksaki. Once again, they win the ball back high. They're into that Hull defence. Just a drop of the shoulder onto that left foot, but the end strike, not his finest. But it is risky the way Hull City have decided they're going to play football. So far, all of the risk has been in their own defensive third. It's not like they're taking risks in that middle or forward third. It's in this area here.
This time, up to a point, it's worked in the sense that they got it out to Malem, but they'll have to go back to start again. Louis Coyle, and I suppose if something is indicative of their problems, he's their only scorer in open play this season, the right back in the Championship anyway. Bedia can pick it up. Vinny Souza went down, as did Arblaster in search of the ball, but he didn't get it, and he'll receive a yellow card from Peter Banks, the referee.
First involvement, Chris Bedia, the striker, hasn't really seen anything here. Pounces on that loose touch, and good strength from Chris Bedia, draws the challenge from Arblaster. Can't have any complaints about seeing a yellow card. Vinny Souza's holding his face, but I didn't really see much contact there.
Arblaster in vain, trying to reach the ball. First opportunity from a set piece. Abdelkadir Amur delivers it, and a flag up for offside against Bedia.
Teasing delivery. They never, three of them, never get back on side. Difficult for the assistant.
Player trying to find the spark again, really. Chris Bedia had a tremendous time at Servette in Switzerland, where he caught the eye of many a club. Goals in Europe against the likes of Roma and Rangers. But a move to Union Berlin didn't quite go as well. Louis Coyle. The first bubbles just below the boil, involving Louis Coyle. Giles and Kamara. A little different tack there for Bedia and Malem. It's not quite late enough in the year for it to come down with snow on it, but
won't be long.
Well, he's managed some big clubs in a second-tier environment in Germany. Hamburg, former European champions back in 1983. Stuttgart as well, who've had some great moments in their time. Not quite managed to get them over the line in terms of promotion. And it's a style of play that, as we've already seen, has its idiosyncrasies and its clear vulnerabilities too, which always seem to remain the same. But he's loved by his supporters of his previous clubs, because they played a brand of football that supporters enjoy watching. It's always exciting.
Yeah, on the edge, kind of stuff, but as I said, I much prefer to play that brand of a football in the opposition half. So far, most of the ball in these areas here, Hull City. See there, this is into the final third. That's the thing that stands out. 6%.
Kamara looking to make some inroads, but marshalled well by Alfie Gilchrist. And it shouldn't be underestimated that Sheffield United themselves are undergoing quite a stylistic transition. And Louis Coyle gets there ahead of Harrison Burrows. Oof. Well, grateful that Kiefer Moore's legs weren't even longer than they are. And that's one of the less risky balls we've seen at the back so far tonight.
Yeah. sure I've heard it described as heart attack football in the past.
Michael Cooper dealing with the danger. Intercepted by McLaughlin. Cannoned off for Vinny Souza to our blaster. Sought to put that lovely left foot to good use. Comes ahead of Finley Burns. He possibly hasn't had, with his Manchester City connection, had quite the transition to make. There are elements he will certainly recognise. Your goalkeeper stepping into the back four, for example. And it was notable there that Amour had stepped into the back line while Giles and McLaughlin went forward.
To rotation. For that. There's no doubt about it. I think the international break came at a really good time for Hull City. On the back of that defeat at Ellen Road, but Tim Walter, a fortnight to work with his players, most of whom remained here.
It's a time to get to grips with things. He is a coach that has tended to inspire great confidence in his players. But when he left Hamburg, when he was sacked by Hamburg earlier in the year, it was said that he would never get quite as big a job in Germany again. And Hamburg, despite their lowly current status, are one of the great clubs. It's kind of like a Villa or a Leeds being down in the Championship. Amour, Abu Kamara. Some urgent defending there from Harry Suter.
The first real danger to the Sheffield United goal. They play through the lines and they get on that front foot. We're in space. He's trying to pick a teammate out. It's well defended. Harry Suter, near post.
Malem. Bellumi. Oh, Hair able to rob him, and this could be trouble. It's 3-on-1 at the moment with Harmer one way, and Harmer takes full advantage. In a flash, one mistake, severely punished.
Well, that is what you call ruthless. I mean, it's heartbreaking for him. He's frustrated, but he will learn. He has to learn. You cannot take that kind of a risk when you're the last man, because once he gets robbed here, he's in massive trouble. And it's a 2-1 v starters, but look where the goal scorer comes from. There's the determination. He actually doesn't look up because he knows he just wants to get it out of his feet, but it's Callum O'Hare who breaks up the play. He's got runners left and he's got runners right, and that causes problem for Ryan Giles, who's the last man. It's a brilliant finish. It's on the angle. He's still got a lot to do, but this is the pivotal moment. It's a really naive piece of football from young Mohamed Bellumi, and it's punished in the extreme. Brilliant finish from Gus Harmer. And is it another goal in the first 15 minutes for Sheffield United?
Yeah, just about.
Breaking records.
Fast starters again. And with a helping hand, and a player coveted by other clubs during the transfer window, shows his undoubted class once again. Because while the mistake led to it, a lot had to unfold.
Actually wondered whether or not Callum O'Hare had gone the right way there, because Gus Harmer was wide. He still had an awful lot to do, but the precision and the accuracy of the strike, unstoppable.
I suppose it's trust the player you know better, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Teammates at Coventry. It's an interesting role for him, playing off the left and popping up there effectively as an outside right. It's possibly an area where Chris Wilder would have liked another body, but the one that's there is doing a tremendous job. I know now that Chris Wilder will be, to some extent, because of events against Queen's Park Rangers recently, will be wondering if whether his team can keep that sense of control.
Yeah.
They've got a lead now and they don't need to really go after it.
Yeah, that's really been their only disappointment, isn't it? 2 goals up at home against Queen's Park Rangers, threw it away. But he told me they learnt a lot that day. It's not dissimilar to Leeds conceding 3 against Portsmouth and then 3 against Middlesbrough in the first 2 games of this season. Learning lessons, going right, stop it, let's learn from that and move forward. But for his team, it's another game that they've conceded first in, haven't scored the opening goal this season. In fact, haven't been in the lead in a game of football this season. It's a terrible habit, they've got to break it.
Ryan Giles getting back in the recovery business, and it should be pointed out that in 3 of their championship games they have earned draws. A goal was scored against Millwall, in which, for all Hull's plentiful possession, it was Neil Harris's team that created the better opportunities. And Sheffield United may be in the business of creating opportunities here, as Harmer skips away. Kiefer Moore, he thought about coming near and then checked again.
Yeah, he's made a mistake, Kiefer Moore, because he made his move. He was ahead of the defender. Harmer spotted it, played it into the area, but he stopped his run, Kiefer Moore. But once again, on the counter-attack, very much turned defence into attack very quickly, Sheffield United.
Touch of the motorway hijack about Kiefer Moore's move to Sheffield United, bound for Hull City, ready to board the plane to join up with them in their camp in Turkey. And a call came that changed everything. And his desire to be in that particular part of Yorkshire for family reasons, naturally playing a very big part, as well as the lure of playing for a side that have just come down from the Premier League. Door open here.
Well, this all came because Sean McLaughlin, the left centre-back, ended up on the right wing and in an advanced area.
And before you say what's he doing there, that's very much part of the plan.
Absolutely.
He's in there to potentially make some mischief along with Alfie Jones in the blue boots, or the light blue boots. It's Jones who makes a run to the near post. Coyle tries to meet it. Just escaped him, and Burns will pick it up. Here's Ryan Giles, who will certainly want to work it onto that left foot. And Harry Souttar meets it. This is Kamara. The potential of the fast break snuffed out there. Just about. And Harrison Burrows not quite snuffed out himself. He's okay.
You could hear the fans from that corner. They did not want it going short, because that's how they conceded the goal. It was actually a Hull City corner from the same spot. It broke down and cost them a goal. But they got the ball in, and actually Louis Coyle had a half chance from a header there, just by getting the ball into a danger area.
Coughlin. This time it's Coyle who steps into a central midfield position. Abdelkader Amour. Actually a longer fight ball for Baloumi, who is useful in the air. There's Giles, Kamara. Turned on by Malin. Ooh, Cooper has to get there. Badia was in there swiftly to make life difficult for him. This is Coyle. And now Baloumi, who will prefer to cut inside if he gets a chance, but he'll feed Coyle here.
Better from Hull City.
Again at that near post, but it's our blaster away, and pretty comfortably so as well after a disappointing delivery. Towards Baloumi. More. That's Burrows. A way out. Coughlin was there to meet.
They're not a team that are bothered about an opponent having the ball, Sheffield United, this season. They're very comfortable without the ball, trying to set traps for Hull City.
Is there to dominate, but as you say, Don, they don't really mind which way it works because they can handle the situation. They can dictate a game without the ball, can't they?
Absolutely. Only one or two moments of concern for Sheffield United, but at least you can see there, certainly in the last 10 minutes, Hull City have enjoyed more of the ball in the right area of the pitch.
More to Coyle. Behind Badia. Gilchrist could have been into dangerous territory, but now another lightning break, and it's Kiefer Moore. Can he keep his head? He's got O'Hare in support.
Well, he telegraphed what he was going to do, Kiefer Moore. He didn't trust himself on his left foot. Defender knew he was going to try and cut in. Opportunity missed. It's a one ball from defence and they're clean through, and that cannot happen.
But they'll tell you in Hamburg that used to happen.
Well, they've got to find a way of stopping it from happening then.
There's a reputation of a coach who's probably more happy winning 4-3 than 1-0, whether that's fair or not, but it's often been the hard way, having to score 2 or 3 to win.
That's difficult, isn't it? This is the third home game of the season. 2 draws so far. Last-minute equaliser against Bristol City and a 0-0 against Millwall. And I just feel these home players, they have to find a way of engaging this crowd and getting them involved in this game. They've got to get the noise levels up here.
Cut out by Burns, and here's Kamara. Lured a challenge from Harmer who was on the wrong side, and like Arblaster, he will go into the book. He's not a stranger to a card or 10.
Again, is it necessary? I would argue possibly. What he has done is given a free kick away in a very dangerous area.
as the goals, he's already clocking up the cards. This in game 5 of the Championship season. Stolen a yard or two in the opposite direction to the norm here. Kadir Omur over it, and Marvin Malem. Moore hits it, and work for Cooper.
Well, it's really clever from Abdul Kadir Amor, because he's moved the ball back a good 2 or 3 yards from where the free kick was, because he wanted to apply that technique where you can get it up and over the wall and dipping down. Not picked up by the officials.
Valve placement important
too.
too.
All of that stuff.
Well, Cooper has been worked, and that's a tick in the box that Hull City needed. Alfie Jones up there will now have to retreat a long way back, augmenting the attack there. It's Vinny Souza. Certainly made massive strides in the affections of the supporters. A player who might have been tempted. Other clubs courting him. Sheffield United courting danger to an extent themselves there as the swarm descended. Raksaki away from McLaughlin. Kamara back there to help.
Tim Walter went absolutely bonkers down below us as his team gave the ball away.
Burrows, Harmer, now O'Hare. Harmer again, Burrows, and Moore's in there!
Great defending. McLaughlin, he switches off for a second here, the central defender. His team are 2 down. Brilliant from Harrison Burrows. Great movement from Kiefer Moore. Absolutely matched by Sean McLaughlin. Brilliant defending.
In the story of the match, that might be a very significant moment. Beyond Suter, who will be penalised.
Not subtle from Harry Suter, but talking about one ball causing the team trouble. Round the corner from Harmer, and he's clean through. I mean, it just cannot happen at this level. They get away with it because he telegraphs what he wants to do, and it's an opportunity missed from Sheffield United.
Here's Giles. Towards Kamara, who'll be met there by Alfie Gilchrist. Touch of Premier League action in Chelsea colours. Club he loves so much. One of those courted by quite a few during the summer.
Moment, didn't he, when he scored his first goal? Stamford Bridge.
That's right, yes. O'Hare. Spedia.
Frustration from Hull City. Goal's actually the first goal in the first half of a Hull City game, isn't it? I don't think they'd scored or conceded until that goal.
On from Moore. Looking for Rasaki. Jones and Coyle react in the end.
And just the reaction of the home supporters below, as you can hear tension in the home fans. It's just one ball here into Kiefer Moore, another run off the back of a defence, and it's all very messy and very fortunate again to get away with it.
Pin drop territory for a moment there as the anxiety reached its peak. Rasaki now for O'Hare. Gilchrist. Vinny Souza. Palmer infield. Rasaki. Almost there to be hit, but Noah did get a foot in. Had a really good hour stepping in for the concussed Andre Brooks against Watford. Brooks back on the bench this evening. Produced a tremendous performance, Brooks, in their last away game at Norwich. On another day with chances created, Blades could easily have left Carrow Road with all 3 points. And then Chris Wilder might be revising his opinion at the start. OK to good is how he described it to me yesterday.
It's been solid, hasn't it? Solid start.
Balumi looking for Malem, and Ahmed Hodzic tidying up with great efficiency. He's had quite a couple of weeks with an international retirement coupled with family turmoil. All sparked because of well, it's come to a head because he had a hamstring problem during his time away with the Bosnian team, and there was quite a fuss over where or when he might get a scan.
Well, he's barely broken sweat tonight, really. We've hardly mentioned him. Haven't really been tested. Those Sheffield United defenders. Has to change.
Giles is a player of searing pace, but it was a struggle for even him. As usual, we've got a huge amount of EFL coverage tomorrow. Millwall Luton is our main feature. We might be able to lure you to Sky Sports Plus as well, with the prospect of Leeds against Burnley, Oxford against Stoke as well. Another 12:30 live championship game for you. A few other matches as well of intrigue from League One and League Two. And then on Sunday, Portsmouth against West Bromwich Albion. 3 o'clock kickoff for that one. Oh, now to Abu Kamara, but Ahmed Hodzic quite break sweat, but he certainly stepped in an alert fashion. Or maybe thinking that he shouldn't have had the chance to.
Yeah, pass was on, wasn't it? A better ball from Abu Kamara. They have caused Sheffield United problems.
Jones. Moore trying to get away from Vinny Souza. He certainly won't get away from Harrison Burrows. And now Harmer and O'Hare. And Burrows. Well, they've formed an orderly queue on the edge of the box, but that may cause its own problems now the other way. Malem going down, losing the ball, and Gilchrist can steal away.
Oh, it's 2 minutes of basketball here, isn't it? You attack, we attack. Sheffield United look the more dangerous when they attack.
Almost touch of eye of the needle about that from Harmer. That was almost effective. O'Hare. Similar position to where he made it happen against Watford. Via Daniel Bachmann. Well, let's throw the old cliche at it. End-to-end stuff at the moment. Kamara and Ahmed Hodzic.
Yeah, like I say, 2 minutes of basketball, wasn't it? I think when you're 1-0 up, it will displease Chris Wilder more than Tim Walter.
This is talking about in terms of exerting a bit more control. Can you help me, says Ryan Giles. Bedia. Kamara. Giles. Louis Coyle stealing in here, can keep this alive for Hull City. That's Ahmed Hodzic away. And a break there for Sean McLaughlin. Alfie Jones. Giles. With a clean challenge. Stopped Giles in his tracks.
Kiefer Moore was in. The ball been played. Opportunity missed again. And look, he's got his arms in the air. Kiefer Moore, he knows. There's a situation there where a forward ball was on. To break this down. Just here, look, he's clean in between there. And the ball should have gone.
A game full of jeopardy so far. Shirt pull that certainly had an impact from Jones on Moore, but I think the first offence was offside. So slips into the chasm of irrelevance, where I spend most of my time.
I'm trying to find the words, but I have none really, so swiftly on.
I notice you're not disagreeing.
Just a little
arm movement from Jones suggesting forwards.
Well, you need movement ahead of the ball to find space to receive the ball.
There is plenty of movement. Look where Ryan Giles is on the halfway line now, the left back. But not the sort that's going to progress you.
Yeah, I'm not seeing the patterns. I'm seeing, I know it's very risky, but I'm seeing what they're trying to do when they have the ball in their own defensive third, but I'm not seeing the patterns ahead of that.
Gilchrist on the charge. Quite a lot of ground, and he's presented it back.
It's really, really quiet inside this stadium. It's incidents like this where Gilchrist is just allowed to run and run and run from right back all the way into the heart of the Hull defence.
Of Julian Hubner alongside Tim Walter there, one of his assistants. Andy Dawson has stayed here in the previous regime. Here's Coyle. Here's McLaughlin.
Well, it's clear Hull City have had way more of the ball, but look at the touches in the opposition box. It's mostly Sheffield United. Other than that, there's not a lot between them, but you do get the feeling when Sheffield United attack, there's more threat of a goal than there is when Hull City are attacking.
A couple of situations they should have made more of.
Absolutely.
Sheffield United.
Yeah.
And added to the on-target account.
They're working so hard to receive the ball in these areas.
Ploughing away and securing a corner for his team.
Probably the best chance of the game. It was only a half chance, but Louis Coyle from this side, a corner to that near post area.
Ramoa brought into it. This is Balumi. Delivery with his left foot. Moore, his presence proving important in his own penalty area. Here's Coyle. Pursued with vigour, but perhaps at some cost to Vini Souza.
He may be winded. I don't know whether that cross struck him in the chest. I think it's, yeah, not really sure.
Something is pretty wrong. Harmer, his strike, the difference between the two teams, 19 seconds.
Yeah, from a Hull City corner that goes horribly wrong. Balumi as the last man there, you just cannot afford to take that risk. But look at Harmer. And he gets his reward at the end of this because it's a long bursting run to get forward and it's a super strike. No chance for the goalkeeper, right into the corner with laser-like precision. That's all of Hull City's making, isn't it? Frustrating for him. And him.
Disappointing moment for the debutant, Mohamed Balumi, who comes from great footballing stock. Vini Souza is going to leave the pitch. Very close to half-time here. And the minimum added time is now 3 minutes. Moore, Ryan Giles, it's beyond McLaughlin.
I'll tell you what, look at that. If Kiefer Moore gets that, they are away again, and this is just, it's madness. The setup is all wrong. It's leaving them exposed.
This is Coyle, and now Balumi. Hooked on by Malem, just beyond Alfie Jones. Retrieved here by Burns. Balumi. Ahmed Hodzic. Here's Balumi. Termination initially from Malem, followed by a late challenge from Finley Burns. He will be the first Hull City booking of the night.
Not protesting. Really? Tells you he's late, isn't he? Just the blaster there. Painful one. This is the moment. If Kiefer Moore can gather this clearance here. Look onto the left there, look, there's two Sheffield United players, and if he gathers that, Hull are in a world of trouble again.
Blaster. Thought he might get through that change of Jones for a moment there, but Coyle ensured that he didn't.
Lots of the ball for Hull City, but they've generated an XG of 0.13, which tells you the trend of not being creative has continued here in the first half.
Well, he only wants more entertainment here, but at times it's been a bit of a Friday fright night for Hull City, and from their corner, Gus Harmer with a rampaging, lung-busting run down that right flank, finished in style to bring us the goal that divides the two teams after debutant Mohamed Baloumi's unfortunate mistake at the break at the MKM Stadium. It's Hull City 0, Sheffield United 1. Yes, thank you, Emma. And Liam Miller and Cody Drame have come on for Hull City at the start of this second half, and Abu Kamara and Ryan Giles are the pair withdrawn, so it's going to be a fresh left-hand side for Hull City in this second 45. Miller's introduction will certainly prick up the ears of those who follow Preston North End, for whom he was outstanding last season. Perhaps his desire to play as a winger rather than a wing-back influenced his ultimate destination.
Yeah, he probably would have started, but for all the travelling with Canada he's had to do.
That's absolutely right, yes.
Really good start to his Hull City career.
Here's Jones. And now Harmer. Picked up by Sousa Blaster. Here is Baloumi. He's frustrated at a slightly loose touch. So a couple of, I suppose you'd just say, like-for-like changes, really. With Miller coming on, it does afford an opportunity of a right footer playing from the left.
It's interesting, isn't it? Really, in terms of one-on-one opportunities, Kamara and Baloumi were a little bit starved, weren't they, in that first half? Hull City will be hoping to get the ball out to Liam Miller a little bit more in the second half. And for all the possession, they have to be more creative. Didn't really create a chance of note.
It's becoming something of a wearisome theme for those followers of Hull City, less than 5 full games in. Given away to Harmer here. And Drame has to make that. Miller. We also have another right footer playing on the left in Cody Drame, the left back, so that will have its potential implications.
We need to see some tempo from the home team. We need to get these home fans involved here in a positive way. Not had a lot to go at so far here.
And either side of the international break, the first test really against teams you would feel are absolute, genuine stick-on contenders for the top 6 and higher in Leeds and Sheffield United. The games you might well come into thinking it's a distinct possibility you'll lose, but I suppose it's, if you are going to lose, it's how you do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's Bellumi, and now Coyle. Now Vinny Souza. Here is Miller. Drame. Burns. Miller. Just to clarify, if you were wondering, no word of injuries to Ryan Giles or Abu Kamara. Mistake by Burns. Oh, look at the freedom for Raksaki out on that right flank.
It's a really poor choice from Kiefer Moore. Raksaki in acres of space. And whilst Hull City may not be threatening that Sheffield United goal, it is still only 1-0, and you see it, don't you? Where teams are reasonably comfortable at 1-0, and it only takes a moment to change all that.
So then you're counting up the regrets from the first half. Certainly some situations they could easily have made more of. Kiefer Moore is off the mark in Sheffield United colours. It's tantalisingly close to a milestone, 100 senior goals, just 2 away. And Coyle gets on with it. Abdelkader Ramour. It's McLaughlin and Drame. Malem. Tied it up by Vinny Souza, but gifted there to Miller. Drame, Burns. And Miller onside despite the hands up in the middle, but stopped by Gilchrist.
Yeah, brilliant defending.
Come off in the previous game against Watford, but it clearly has not turned into a big concern. There's less forthcoming than usual about the knocks and niggles this week, Chris Wilder. Goalkeeper Pandur offering his services. It's changed now with Drame on the field, but Hull did start the night with a back 5 that were here last season. Amidst all the transition, in many senses, 16 new players coming into the club. Oh, potential here for Nadir. It wouldn't quite come down for him.
Millimetres. Literally, if he gets any of that boot onto this ball, he's timed his run well. He's in business.
Alfie Jones. Now Amour. Run from Malem could be useful here, but Harry Souttar, alive to the danger, cuts it out.
But that is better, isn't it? It's an aggressive intent, a pass that's aimed to hurt Sheffield United, who haven't really started so far. second half.
Coyle has the matter in hand there, or does he? He's conceded a corner.
I can't believe he's got the audacity to have a go at the goalkeeper, to be fair. It's a poor pass from the Hull skipper. Didn't really give his goalkeeper much of a chance. See here, he gets up there ahead of some Burrows, and it's just a poor pass. And he has a little go at the goalkeeper for some reason.
He's got to get his mind fixed on the job in hand as a result. Peter Banks coming over to have a forensic look at the placing of the ball here.
Oh my goodness me. A waste of 30 seconds, eh?
Oh, more up than away by Badia. Oh, and Vinny Souza latched onto it. And Pandor was sharp to keep it out.
They don't deal with this. Just headed up in the air there. As it falls to Souza. It's a decent effort, and it's a smart stop to keep his team in this game.
Harmer, that's whipped with potential danger, potential menace carried with it.
Designed to find that far corner, only he knows.
But I wouldn't be surprised if it did cross his mind. And his penchant for the spectacular. This is Bellumi. His father was a marvellous player, scored the winner for Algeria against West Germany in the World Cup in 1982. Was on the cusp of a move to Barcelona when he broke his leg. Juventus wanted him to play, even when Michel Platini was there. They played in the same position. And this is better from Hull. It's frustrating ultimately. McLaughlin in a very advanced position there. Gilchrist into a bit of difficulty. And appeals by Badia, but Arblaster was able to shrug him off.
Yeah. Good, strong defending.
Precocious captain of Sheffield United. Coyle. Captain of Hull City, hoping to drive his team forward here. It's Bellumi. This was weaker foot. Into the grateful grasp of Cooper.
Yeah, just signs in the first 10 minutes of the second half that Hull a little bit more playing the game in the right parts of the pitch that can hurt Sheffield United.
Jones. Talented goalkeeper on the bench in Anthony Choppy from Switzerland, who's played in the Champions League. Carl Rushworth in England, under 21 international. For the moment, the man from Croatia getting the nod. Goalkeeping position a source of great intrigue last season when Liam Rossigna was at the helm as well. see the introduction of Andre Brooks for Sheffield United shortly, and that of Sam McCallum. Burrows making strides, and purposeful ones at that. Louis Coyle stationed on that near post. More. Good work that by Vinny Souza.
Yeah, he's done that really well all season, hasn't he, Vinny Souza, breaking up opposition attacks.
His asset in difficulty in Gus Harmer, and maybe the changes that are afoot require some adjustment. There's just been chucked some refreshment from the sidelines, which we'll certainly hope will help alleviate the problems. This is Miller, well found on this occasion. Suter's header, landing on the roof of the net.
Just feel a little bit passive for me, Sheffield United in the second half. It's only going to encourage Hull City. I think Sheffield United are going to make a couple of changes very soon.
So what will also encourage Hull, although it's probably not the best way to phrase it, is the misfortunes of one of Sheffield United's most influential players, and how influential he has been to Hull City's cost so far. So Sam McCallum and Andre Brooks ready to come on, but Callum O'Hare has received a stay of execution as a result of Harmer's difficulties. He was due to come off, but now Harmer will. And Rhian Brewster is also going to make an entrance. Talented trio, that.
Yeah, very much so.
So I suggested Callum O'Hare might get a stay of execution. That's not actually going to be the case. He is going to come off with Brewster's addition.
Well, I hope that's not too serious for Gus Harmer, because what a start to the season he's made. 3 goals already. Greatly appreciated by the away fans.
He's been stressing to his attacking players, Chris Wilder, the importance of their roles from the bench. Your finishers rather than substitutes. And very much inspired by the exploits of Ipswich in particular last season. 5 substitutes, it really does change the game for those who are in the supporting cast from the off. Brooks so good at the start of the season. Rhian Brewster really needs to get a new start essentially after so many injury difficulties. Balloumi's corner, and let's say no more about it. Might be better here. It certainly is better. Kept Michael Cooper honest.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is an attempt at a cross that ended up curling so much that it's forced Michael Cooper to save it.
It's got some oohs and ahs. It's the battle of the centre-backs, McLaughlin and Ahmed Hodzic, that is drawing the attention of the referee. Moore delivered this time. It was met by Captain Arblaster. Back in by Amour. This time dealt with by Alfie Gilchrist. That's Drame.
As I said, he's whipping that in for a teammate, really, but so much bend on the ball, it ends up turning into a shot.
It would not be a surprise at all if he has a collection of worldies by the end of the season, such as his talent, and he can curl them, he can thunder them, and also, for a winger, he can get in there at the back post and head them in. Did very well for Ferenc last season, mid-table in the Portuguese top flight. He's got a taste for the seaside. Faro and now Hull. Coyle's ball in.
For all the improvement in the second half, there's still at no point really where they've been able to get these home fans off their seats and involved and loud. That's what's missing. Friday night under the lights should be raucous, shouldn't it?
It certainly started with that potential, that feel in the air. Here's Miller. Bellumi trying to combine with Miller. Vinny Souza with his umpteenth important intervention like that.
Opportunities from corners.
Coyle goes to ground in there. Alfie Jones in the thick of it, and away by Suter. Oh, now a counter may well be on. Quite a chase on here for Kiefer Moore, which he's won. And Brooks, McCallum's up there. Back to front again in brilliant fashion. And Sam McCallum applies the finishing touch to score his first goal for Sheffield United. And it's one that surely means 3 points are destined their way.
Wow. Incredibly, I think it's from a full corner again. It is. But they just clear. But then where's the whole shape? Look how high they are. They are leaving themselves so exposed. And then this is a mismatch, isn't it? Strength. Kiefer Moore eases Miller out. And then it's brilliant from there. Brooks knows that McCallum is inside in support. Again, a little bit like Gus Harmer. There's still so much for Sam McCallum to do there. He's on the stretch, sliding in, but he controls the shot beautifully. There's a bit of strength from Kiefer Moore. There's the bit of skill from Andre Brooks. And that is a super finish from Sam McCallum.
I was talking about the role of substitutes that Chris Wilder has stressed. Well, there you saw it in action. He was shaking his head. He was frustrated, Tim Walter, at Moore being able to easily bump Miller off the ball. But McCallum, Brooks and Brewster all involved in that. And when you make a change, you dream of an impact like that. You don't necessarily get it from all three straight away, although, must be said, we were at Blackburn the other week where the substitutes scored 3 of the goals in the second half.
They need a response quick here, Hull, because they played badly second half.
Offside.
And that's not going to do anybody any favours in terms of lifting these home fans.
Weary traveller Casey Palmer to make an entrance, and Regan Slater, who on any other day would be toasting the prospect of Sheffield United victory. So Finley Burns will be withdrawn. His first start. And the debutant Bellumi, whose unfortunate part in the opening goal of the game, a critical one. Regan Slater, former Sheffield United player, a Sheffield United supporter. Chris Wilder very generous in his comments about him yesterday. Had it not been for their period in the Premier League, he could well have carved out a career at Bramall Lane.
Well, it's a 2-goal cushion now, and that will be enough to send Sheffield United up to 3rd in the early stages of this season.
With the points deduction.
With the points deduction, yeah.
And such has been the way they've approached the games this season. He's barely raised a flicker, really. But a legacy of financial troubles, should we say almost past, I don't know. The uncertainty still surrounds them in that regard, but they're pushing on despite all that.
Well, I think the fact that they've been able to bring so many good quality players to the football club is an indicator that things are on the up. Sheffield United.
But who will finally be pulling those levers is still a little up in the air, with the prospective takeover not wrapped up as yet. Drame. Cut out by Harrison Burrows. Regan Slater. Mela. Drame. Miller. Slater again. Nice cross. Arblaster on the stretch. Slater in there. Brewster looking to play his part again.
Again, a better pass, and Hull are in trouble. They're so vulnerable. It's such a high line, and I understand the reasons why, but exposing themselves.
Well, how many times tonight have they been one pass away from oblivion?
Yeah, absolutely.
Miller. Drame. In the end behind Mela, maybe the advanced too far in the end ultimately. McLaughlin. Miller. Moore. Slater. Palmer. Moore. Arblaster's touch. Vinny Souza. There's plenty of space to move into. Brewster one way, Brooks the other.
It's a little bit like Kiefer Moore in the first half. He made his move, the ball didn't come, and then he stopped, and then the ball came.
It's always the way.
Always the way.
Moore, Palmer. Coyle. Miller arriving at that back post. Oh! Well, extraordinary from Malem, and then wide from Miller.
Well, Sam McCallum is getting absolutely blasted by Ahmed Hodzic here, because he doesn't stop the cross, he doesn't get anywhere near, and really That should be 2-1, shouldn't it? No doubt about it. See the reaction. Is it? It's in there. The reaction of Sheffield United defenders, they're furious with Sam McCallum, but it really should be 2-1. It's a big let-off.
They've certainly fashioned a chance now. McCallum. Moore trying to keep Sheffield United in business. A veritable smorgasbord of Saturday action for you from the EFL. Millwall Luton is our main game on Sky Sports Football. Leeds Burnley also available via the Sky Sports Plus channel. Sky Sports Plus stream for Oxford Stoke from the Championship. Sunday we have Portsmouth against West Brom, a 3 o'clock kick-off that on the south coast. And our other Saturday 12:30 features, we've got Mansfield, Cambridge, Northampton, Wickham, where I'll be tomorrow, and Wimbledon, MK Dons and Swindon, Newport from League 2. A yellow card brandished for Andre Brooks.
It just feels there's half a chance. Take the ball. Jones gets there first.
Great record that Sheffield United have on this particular ground. One defeat, 11 league games in this particular city. It's not been that regular a date in the diary down the years compared to some others. Bernie and Sander Berger did the damage here last season. 2-0 was the score the last time they met here 2 seasons ago. Palmer's delivery is a threatening one.
Well, it is interesting, isn't it, that it's the simplicity of getting the ball out wide and crossing it that is causing Sheffield United problems for all the complex attempt at building play up. Whip ball into a dangerous area. It's just a little flick of Harry Suter, takes it away from Bedia.
It's just given Hull City supporters a glimmer of hope, and there's certainly nothing approaching a steady trickle to the exits just yet.
Of effort, there's no lack of an attempt to get themselves back in this game. You can see pushing Sheffield United back. A couple of chances, big one, really should be 2-1. If they can get another goal in the next 5 minutes or so, you just never know.
But yeah, trying to get him behind Hodzic. It was a challenge he had to get right, and a challenge that he did get right. Despite Bedia's protest, indeed, it came off him last.
It must be close, this. Very difficult to see who that comes off. Yeah, he stands on the ball, doesn't he, Bedia? It's a good spot by the officials. Credit where it's due.
I might say a smart spot from assistant referee Edward Smart. It's the head of Moore. Crept out of play before Brooks could guide it back. The newly promoted teams coming in short order for Sheffield United in Derby and Portsmouth. A fixture that leaps off the page at the moment is on Friday the 18th of October, where they go to Ellen Road This is Miller. And that was Gilchrist who enjoyed that moment of defending.
Modern defenders celebrate like they've scored a goal, don't they, when they do some important defending. For them, it's all about preserving a clean sheet now.
They managed one at Preston, they managed one against Watford at home from their opening 4 games. Coyle in trouble.
Spotted. Andre Brooks was in a world of space, and to be fair to Kiefer Moore, tried to find him.
But again, the door is wide open. It's Palmer. Kadir Moore. This is Miller. Teaser. Bedia beaten by Ahmed Hodzic. Turbulent period for him. He's showing no signs whatsoever of being fazed by it. A reserve character by all accounts, so his public opening up about his situation quite a step for him. Kadir Moore. Callum away. Advantage played here. Vinny Souza would have got a free kick there, but they didn't play on a good effect. And it's the former Blade looking to cut through. Regan Slater.
It's been a lot better for me in the second half. It's taken place in the right areas of the pitch in the main for Hull. Just can't find that cutting edge.
Momentum maintained. It's Gilchrist to meet it. No fist pump this time. I'm not going to imagine the reaction of Chris Wilder if Sheffield United was to let a 2-goal lead slip here. Wasn't the best corner. But he'll get another opportunity, but it's Gilchrist on the end of both deliveries. Ooh. That was less good from Alfie Gilchrist.
Borderline, because it's massively aggressive. Dives in, he's off the ground. Orange, isn't it? Orange card, if there were such a thing. I think the thing that probably saves him is that he's low. He's ended up with a bit of cramp, but for me at this stage of proceedings it was an unnecessary challenge.
Well, Tim Walter's certainly unhappy about that challenge, and he was shown a yellow card there, we gather. Understand why he's happy. When it's your player on the receiving end of that, you want to see a red card, don't you?
Like I said, it was borderline.
And he wasn't the only one carded for his reaction. Casey Palmer also going into the book there. Sariki getting ready to come on for Sheffield United. Right back. Oh, and it's dangerous. In the end, tale of regret for Hull City. It's Bedia at the back post.
It's just bounced through so many bodies. Impossible for Bedia really to react. Makes a good effort in reacting. Just jabs that left leg out as the ball flickers through. Look, can't quite get there in time.
Well, 3 of them in the end by the look of it. McLaughlin, Jones and Bedia at the back post. And there's Femi Sariki. And no great surprise given recent events that Alfie Gilchrist is withdrawn, suffering a touch of cramp. So a slightly wayward head in that challenge. So Sariki on. To make a burst down that sort of inside left channel again. Made a lot of those runs, and things haven't worked throughout the game in terms of their attacking intent. He's at least been constantly willing. This is Miller. It's our blaster.
He's had a real positive impact, hasn't he, William Miller? Left-hand side.
McLaughlin darting to the near post here, but more part of number 9's brief defensive set pieces, does his job well. Slater, Drame. Coyle and Palmer. Present there really for Brooks. Coyle back in there. Slater. Miller's got a lot of room. Took it a little earlier than he got it. Up against Rhian Brewster. Coyle. Trying to make the angle on this side, but they'll use McLaughlin instead. Flick from Palmer. Animated reactions from Tim Walter in the technical area.
I'll be much happier with the second half performance as a collective, really. But there is still this lack of a cutting edge that is a real worry and a real concern.
Fully behind him, as you would expect at this stage, and as he publicly said, he wanted a more exciting brand of football.
Well, here's a list of the top scorers last season. Philogene 12, Tufan 10, Carvalho 9, Connolly 8, Delap 8. None of those players here anymore, and the opening 5 games, you look and you're asking yourself, where are the goals coming from? It's a worry.
That's the work they've got to do. All falls down at the feet of Slater. Henry Souza hoping to get Sariki going, but it's not really the time for that. The instructions for Jamie Shackleton on the touchline, who's about to make a cameo appearance in the colours of Sheffield United. He'll be quite at home in all white, won't he? Although it's all cream officially. Loose, and Malem may be able to pick it up. Miller, Malem, and Souter made the initial challenge at some cost to him, and it's Cramp. Hodgic involved there as well, but Souter a weary traveller, his last international engagement in Indonesia with Australia. Here's Jamie Shackleton, player who is certainly in the business of catching up in fitness terms, replacing Jamie Shackleton, replacing Kiefer Moore, and a brief front-running role for Rhian Brewster, you'd imagine now. To for the points deduction for Sheffield United. It's a burning question whether they have the squad depth to sustain a top 2 challenge.
It's certainly about managing the time of the players, isn't it? Trying to nurse them a little bit.
Slater. Casey Palmer. McLaughlin finding Drame. Help from Miller. Slater. Here's Palmer. Slater. Well marshalled on that occasion, and Brewster, counter charges on. Who'll get there first is the question. And now it's Burrows who'll unleash.
Looked a threat in the counter-attack every single time, haven't they? Sheffield United.
Back there by Vinny Souza and a foul by Malem.
It's been a tough start, hasn't it? Team Walter, it hasn't been easy. So many late deals done. Hard to work on a new style, but the longer you go without winning a game, the pressure just builds, and you're trying to get buy-in, particularly from the fans.
And you've replaced a coach who's been a success on his own terms, Liam Rosenior. 3 points off the playoffs last year, in that race just about on the final day of the season.
It's been a tough start. Through the next 4 games away from home as well.
It's Stoke next, which is live for you in a week's time. Friday night action. Sheffield United anthem, the ode to a greasy chipped butty, ringing out in the East Yorkshire air.
Efficient is the word you'd use for Sheffield United tonight. Haven't had to be at their best, really, but they have been clinically ruthless, defended pretty well, protected their goal.
So they've got the potential to play a more ruthless game than this. And in possession terms, possibly a more dominant game than this as well, in other circumstances.
I think they've played their opponent tonight. I think they've known the type of style of Hull. They've known that they're vulnerable in the turnover, and they've exploited it.
Drame. Coyle is still lurking on that back post. It must be said, I know people have talked about the relatively lean nature of Chris Wilder's squad, but he'll hark back to one of his adversaries when Sheffield United did win promotion back in 2019, a certain Marcelo Bielsa, and he ran a pretty tight ship, Leeds United. Not too many players at his disposal. Didn't really seem to do him much harm. So it can be done, even if you're playing an unrelenting style of football. Miller finding Malem. great corner again from Liam Miller, and that's definitely an area where they could have done a lot better tonight. Yeah. They've had the opportunities to do so.
They have.
Miller to Coyle.
And here's another one. 14 or 15, I think, calls.
That's in evidence. Cooper diving onto the ball and a kiss for his troubles. How about that?
Hasn't really had too much to do. Just the two shots that he's tipped over the bar, one from a free kick, one possibly from a cross, and that's it. And that's the problem, isn't it?
What would you have expected either to have beaten him? I mean, no. So, been anything beyond the routine?
The only thing was the header,
which he would have had no chance.
Yeah.
Miller. Drame. Slater determined to get there. And you use the word frustrating a lot after probably a better performance at Leeds. Might be one he will be using again. So the curtain falls on a really efficient performance from Chris Wilder's team that's really enjoyed amongst their ranks. Gustavo Hamer pouncing and finishing with laser-like precision straight from a Hull City corner. Within 19 seconds they were in, and there was a touch of deja vu about the goal in the second half that sealed it. Sam McCallum getting his first for the club after a breakaway that involved three substitutes recently introduced to the field. Brewster and Brooks also involved in it. Some moments of encouragement in that second half for Hull, who didn't really lay a glove on Sheffield United in the first, and Marvin Malem's header clattering back off the underside of the bar but staying out. Michael Cooper didn't have a save beyond the routine to make apart from that, and it is still very much a work in progress, to use that well-worn phrase, for Tim Walter. They've got to find a little more, or a lot more indeed, in the attacking side of the game. So Sheffield United move up to third place in the Championship with that victory. It's looking good for them, unbeaten, 3 wins out of 5, and they certainly look like a team who will be amongst it towards the end of the season. The final score in this Yorkshire derby at the MKM Stadium is Hull City 0, Sheffield United 2.